welcome back to the channel. I've been busy, lots of other projects, and trying to get back onto the XKR. It's pretty much sanded all over. There's a few tiny little bits that need sorting, but pretty much as soon as the temporary paint booth is ready, we've effectively got to give it a final sand, and then it'll be ready to go. So the big question is, which is a question to you guys as well, obviously car's on the ground at the moment, and you've got spray right down here. I haven't seen it done anywhere. Online everybody seems to spray their cars on the ground, but I have the lift. There is the windscreen surround that I have to spray. Well, just a little bit. I could just blend in the bottom here, to be honest, but I'll probably spray that as well. But apart from that, everything is below this height, so it seems sensible to me to do on this side of the garage where the lift is, and lift it up to about here, make it easier to spray. So the question is, which way do I could move the XJ6 out and build a temporary booth over there, or I could build it on this side and do it that way. I'm leaning towards this side. As part of the temporary booth, I'm going to need to build a wooden framework and then cover it with polythene. So there's a couple of questions around that too. One is if you look online at polythene, prices vary wildly. What's the thickness of polythene that you guys have used? The plan is to build a wooden framework, one side or the other, open the doors a bit to give me an exit. I could open that window over there and use that as the the air inlet, or I could do from that door and either put a door in the middle. So obviously that needs some wood, which I could talk about in a few moments. I do have some sort of tarpaulin type stuff, but that's not really ideal. I also have the remains of a large tent which I could use, but I think maybe some clear polythene is the way to go. Obviously I'm going to spray it black. I don't want my black garage, so I need to build some kind of envelope, as it were, around. Obviously if I lift it on the jack, I've got to cover the jack as well, but it's not the end of the world. So yeah, I'll go on to the wood in a sec, but yeah, please leave your comments below, and I'll look to do the temporary garage in the next video. I guess the other challenge is I've missed the summer, the British summer. I've missed that. Currently very wet, rainy for the next few weeks, so I'm not going to do it when it's actually raining, and the temperature's falling as well, so I've got to look at ways of heating the air and all this carcoon, as it were. Heat the temporary booth somehow whilst extracting lots of air. I've got to build some filter devices too, so that'll all be in the upcoming videos. So I did what the US call dumpster diving, or skip dipping, I guess, whatever you want to call it in the UK. Effectively I came across some guys who were taking out some partition walls, of course. I ended up with 25 of these, which are about 2.5 meters long. They've got the nails in for the plasterboard, and also some 6-inch nails. Some of these with both of those in, of course, but so yeah, I've got plenty of timber now to make up the temporary spray booth that I need. Build the framework out of these. So that was a good find. Keeping an eye out. I asked the guys next door if it was okay. They said yeah, fine, help yourself. And since I've been round there where all these timber was, they've put all the plasterboard in, so it gave the guys who are working there get extra space to fill in the skip. So yeah, gain by everybody. Obviously it takes a while to get all these out. End up with loads of nails and things, of course, but yeah, it's all good. So you'll see some more of that when I make up the booth. So there you go, all sorted. At least 25, maybe 30 bits of timber ready for ready for use. You know, the first task is definitely to build a temporary spray booth, but that'll be the framework, and then put polythene around it. And this is the final amount of nails that I took out of all of that. A few screws and things, but and wire clips, etc. But yeah, most of that is going to go in the tip, but well, in the recycling, metal recycling. So not lost. The whole thing is make do and mend, or waste not, want not, whatever you want to say. Okay, the door handle is held on by these two little screws, which are way up in there. Yeah, one, they're basically, you can just about feel them along the bottom here. They're 7mm. You can either use a little socket set or a spanner, something, but there's not much width to play with. I ended up using the 7mm ring spanner. Once you've done that, you can ease this out. He says, hopefully. Obviously some kind of mechanism on the end here. I have to do a little bit of investigations to see how to get that off. Okay, to remove the handle, I loosened off the 3 lock bolts on the end of the door. That gives you some movement, and effectively then you can jiggle the door lock around, and you can turn. You can see you've got like a step here, a dog leg type thing. That was in this hole at the top here. But there's also one going into the door lock. Well, the key lock. That too has a similar right angle that's fallen down there somewhere. But effectively, you can just about see it there in the background. In effect, you loosen the 3 bolts there, struggle to get the 2 bolts off here, the 7mm, they're really awkward, and then once you can do that, you can sort of wiggle this out enough to turn first the rod for the key, and then you can do the rod for the door lock, and then it's out. And you can see this plastic bit that goes over here and all around, but you can also see there's big chunks of it missing where it's got like a lip, but it just crumbles. So it's UV has made it disintegrate, so we've got to do something about that. You know, that part is available, that piece of plastic, for at least, I think it's £78 for a pair. We're looking to do something else there. So that leaves me to clean up here, take the shine off of that, so the paint will cut into that. Obviously we'll tape all this up when we get back to painting it. So still got to take this door lock off here. Just explained how to do that. I have taken the trim off, but it has this sort of very sticky foam tape that, I basically used a plastic trim tool and some, my heat gun to try and actually get the thing off in the first place, but this kind of sticky glue, it's really difficult. I'm going to try some chemicals to see if I can get it off easier. Something that'll dissolve it a bit. Then we need to sand down this door, get the shine off, Still need to finish the bonnet. Back's feeling much better, so I should be able to get on with that. And then it's the these two trim pieces here that you can see lining up there, the seal over covers or whatever, seal covers maybe. Clean up and do something about those, and also the rear bumper. I need to prep that. Okay, I have some of this GRP acetone, and what it does, it seems to melt the goop. So still takes a bit of work, and I'm using like a little plastic scraper to get to it, but it dissolves this, and then you can work, go over it with a cloth with some acetone in it, obviously a bit of PPE. Go over it with a cloth. I'm using just an old towel, and with some acetone on it, and it sort of breaks it down a bit, and then you can scrape it back a little bit with this, scrape that off, just keep doing that, and it sort of turns into little bits of sticky mess, but that gets the worst of it off. Then I can sand the door. So after a bit of rubbing and scraping using acetone, we got rid of it all. Now we're ready to sand the whole door. Slightly different video today. We're here at Dunsfold Aerodrome. Sorry about the wind noise. Hopefully we're going to go up here and drive an E-Type. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.